Yo, what is up everybody and welcome back to the second upload of the day. Now in today's episode, we're going to be unboxing all of my chests that I have available in the game at the moment. And that includes a crown chest, a couple of free chests, also a gold chest, a silver chest, and finally, the one you've been waiting for, the legendary chest, which is currently in my shop for 500 gems. Now before the opening starts, can we please get 320 likes? Last video we got 300 likes, which is a crazy milestone. And until we actually go negative, or until we don't reach our like bar, I'm going to keep on raising the like bar so that we just get more hype on our videos. This way, the challenge just grows insanely fast. And here's our crown chest. Let's get 19 Teslas, decent pick, 44 arrows, and unfortunately, only wizards for the last card. Now, my wizard is close to being level 9, which is a crazy level, which I'll definitely take, so I'm kind of happy about that. Now, here comes the free chest. 94 gold, a bit weak, 1 mega minion, and 11 elite barbs. Not bad for a free chest. And there is a legendary chest just sitting there for 500 gems. I can't wait to open it. I really hope that I do get a princess card, or maybe even a Sparky, just because I'm close to getting a level 3 Sparky. Would be insane. Now, our gold chest is a bit weak. Nothing too special there. Just a couple of commons and rares, like a minion horde and a motor. Nothing too special there. And also getting another wizard from that silver chest. Not bad at all. And it looks like we're having bad luck with the mortar card. We're getting so many mortars, and once again some more minions with that last silver chest. Now, finally, here we are with the legendary chest. 500 gems, very inefficient way to spend your gems, but when you open up that legendary chest, it is such a satisfying thing to get. Give me an electro wizard. Alright, so we got another princess card. I'm not too happy about that. She is a great card, but we're so far away from getting a level 3 princess, which is such a grind to get, that because we're getting a card that builds up to that point, it's kind of very boring. Now, in respect to us getting a princess card, let's change our deck around, and let's make it a double princess deck. I'll actually add in the clone spell. Maybe we can get a quad princess deck, maybe get some insane princess gameplay. It's been a while since I've used this card in mass, so let's go ahead, make a princess deck, and let's see how it does. So we're going to be rocking a P.E.K.K.A as our main tank, a Princess Amir card, and a skeleton army. That card, although it did get nerfed from 16 skeletons to 15, it is still a very effective offensive and defensive card. And lastly, the Executioner and Dark Prince for splash support, and Executioner and our Princess are the only anti-air cards. Those two cards go down when we're facing a Lava Hound deck. We're going to be in lots of trouble, but it doesn't matter because my trophy count is very low, which means that we can just face level 10 players. And honestly, that is needed because our deck, first of all, isn't the most cost effective. So facing these lower level cards is going to be a big advantage needed when using our double princess deck. Now, this first game, no idea what the opponent's name is. It sounds interesting, or it looks at least interesting, but nevertheless, here's our first game facing a level 10 player coming in with a goblin barrel. Now, I make a big mistake. I should have counted that with my Executioner card, but instead I'm being a bit thick-headed, and I decided to push on the opposite lane for some reason, even though I could have just counter pushed by placing it on the other lane. And same thing right here, the P.E.K.K.A would have been a great counter for those elite barbs, but instead I decided to be stubborn, and I'm just going to keep on pushing on this right lane. So a nasty start, elite barbs take out our bottom tower, and now we're stuck with a P.E.K.K.A push that is not even going too well because it's getting countered by an in-front tower and a skeleton army. And with that big Executioner radius nerf, it means that the skeleton army is still a very viable counter for our P.E.K.K.A push, even with an Executioner backing it up, which is a bit sketchy, honestly, and not that cost effective. So our Prince does make it, and because of its 4% HP buff, which happened last balance update, it can take one more tower hit, which means that it's going to bring that top right tower to 305 HP. Not a bad attack at all. Good job, Dark Prince. Now, I want to get the remaining HP just taken off, so I'm going to go for a desperate push with our Executioner, and he places a delayed in front tower. That was a bit of a mistake, and that's going to cost him his top right tower and 5 elixir. So we're just like, by luck, we basically just tied the game after making poor beginning decisions. Now 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Now, although our main objective is to win the game, a side objective is to get as many princesses on the field as possible. That's why in the first place, we're playing with a mirror princess deck and a clone spell deck. So yeah, gonna wait for W elixir for that to happen. You can't really spam down a lot of cards when it's not W elixir because of our deck's very expensive average cost. I think it's above 4 elixir, so we gotta watch out for that. Gonna prepare for his push on my king tower. I think that's why he set up the minions on the left lane. There's a goblin barrel, very desperate for a 3 crown win. That is not going to happen though. My tower is very high level, which means it has a lot of HP and a lot of defense power. And against single goblins by themselves, that is not going to go quite well. But here comes the Princess Rampage. 2 princesses on the field, a P.E.K.K.A, a Dark Prince, and an Executioner. And we're already almost rotated to our second princess card. That is crazy. Now I'm going to put a 3rd princess in the middle of the map. Going to make a bit of a trifecta type of luck. But one gets taken out by a minion card. That's unfortunate. But with a quick put down of the mirror card, we put down our 4th princess. One did get taken out, And soon enough, we're going to go for another Dark Prince push and maybe clone down those 2 princesses and get 5 princesses on the field at once. That is the gameplay that we're talking about. And now they're just raining down fire on that king tower. And he even gives up and leaves the game. And somehow, that deck did just work. Crazy stuff. Now, the first game was quite sketchy. I made a lot of mistakes at the very beginning of the game. And just because of luck, I was able to get a 3-crown win. So let's hop into a second game and let's see if it's my skill level or the deck that is making us do so well. So here we go, facing another level 10 player. Don't even know how to pronounce that name. All these weird names. It's getting a bit annoying, but really, we're just looking for crowns and for mass princess gameplay. So starting off with a Goblin Barrel push, identical to what our opponent did in last game. A bit funny, but we're going to counter that with our Skeleton Army. And he's going to invest a Zap also in that push, which meant that we just went positive 3 in that trade, which is great for us. And with that big advantage, just go for another P.E.K.K.A push. And let's back up our P.E.K.K.A with some air support, and that being with the princess. And he is very smart to ambush my tower, seeing that my P.E.K.K.A is a very slow card. He's actually going to shave off almost the entirety of my bottom left crown tower, and another devastating beginning. I gotta stop doing these mistakes. Now, the reason why I wanted to back up my princess with a Dark Prince on the right lane was so that she could just stay alive and keep on doing damage. But that was a bit risky because if he did put down an air card, that whole thing could have been done for. And our Executioner is delayed, and our P.E.K.K.A left to take a lot of damage, but his DPS is so good. Remember, our P.E.K.K.A is level 6, and we're facing level 10 cards, or level 10 players. So its DPS is really crazy when against these players, and that's why we're able to get that first crown with only 1 minute into the game. So another good counter with our Skeleton Army to take out the entirety of that Goblin Barrel. Now, I was also hoping for the Skeleton Army to distract the minion card while inside of my territory. This way the tower could just slowly take it out and in return take no damage. But my Skeleton Army's pushed out a bit too far, and unfortunately meaning that our first tower does get taken out. But with a very passive pump down, you can almost call it greedy because it isn't W Elixir, or we don't have a substantial lead to place on a pump. But with this passive pump down, we're forcing the opponent to play on a very aggressive type of playstyle, because by placing the pump down and seeing that he doesn't have a clear counter like a rocket or fireball to take it out means that he's gonna have to go for a very early push. And with Golem decks, you want to make sure that you're pushing during W Elixir, so by placing down that passive pump, we actually force him to push early. Now, I make a very stupid decision just to get cool gameplay. I wanted to put down 2 P.E.K.K.A cards, and that's going to cost me a lot of Elixir. And seen right here, their main weakness is Swarm cards getting taken out by the Minion Horde and that Skeleton Army, and we're going to lose everything to just a Fireball and a bunch of Swarm cards, and we're in a very bad position now. Now, I'm actually quite surprised. Our tower has decent HP even after getting bombarded by a bunch of Swarm cards, and our pump still has a lot of HP left, which means that that is an extra 2 Elixir. And I get a bit too cocky and I go for a second P.E.K.K.A push, but it gets shut down by another minion card, and that's why you need more Swarm support in your P.E.K.K.A decks. Now, in retrospect, I should have replaced my Skeleton Army card and Dark Knight card, or Dark Prince card, with either arrows or maybe a poison spell, because that is perfect anti-swarm cards. And seeing that our only anti-swarm card is a princess, which is very unreliable, and also to mention our Executioner is a very unreliable support card. Its angles are like all over the place, and only when you can really aim it where you want to be, like at a position like this where we can just land on top of the minions, is it a very effective support card. And with 5 seconds left, somehow our P.E.K.K.A makes it to the tower, takes it out, and just somehow we barely won that game with a last P.E.K.K.A attack. Now, if you guys want any more tips of how to do good with your P.E.K.K.A cards, then watch my other P.E.K.K.A videos. I have like a crazy ton amount, probably like 20 P.E.K.K.A videos in the past 3 months, which is like crazy. And if you couldn't tell, the P.E.K.K.A is my favorite card in the game. If you actually check out my old YouTube videos and my current YouTube banner, there's like a P.E.K.K.A in each one of those, which is a sign that I'm a big fan of the card. And the reason why I love the P.E.K.K.A so much is because it's such a fun card to play with. I love its animation. And with that 3 to 1 second deploy time buff, it is such a good defensive card now. Now, according to some players on Reddit, the P.E.K.K.A buff isn't actually a buff. When you do decrease its deploy time from 3 to 1 seconds, its potential to get big massive pushes actually goes down by a bit of a tad. But in my opinion, it's a buff in defense compared to minor decrease and offense. Kind of like there's like a big difference in the two, so I think it's a big buff to the card overall. But you know, I can see where they're coming from. A very understandable point. Now, thank you everybody for making it to the end of the video. If you did, you're amazing. And remember, we got to get 300 plus likes. That is a goal for today's video. If we can smash that, then tomorrow's video is going to be even more insane. So thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.